So in 2012 or 13, Toledo prison started taking maximum security inmates. We was a level 3 prison, which is close, which is just under max. But as I've explained in the previous videos, Toledo is divided into 3 different cell blocks, A, B, and C. I don't know the thought process behind this decision. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. Don't ask me. They had already up until this point just double bunked it. It's been the worst prison in Ohio for a couple of years now, violently. It's always been the worst prison in Ohio in terms of drugs and the female COs since its conception in 2000. But now we're in the 12, 13, and they had doubled it up and it's full blown the worst violent prison in Ohio, and there's no close second at that time. So we got a guy. Well, let me back up. They take C block and they empty it out. All the level 3 inmates that were in there, they lowered. That was the time, if you were looking to get your security lowered and get to a lower level prison, that was the time, because they were lowering guys that wasn't even supposed to be lowered, just to make room to move these maximum security inmates in. Because once they put one maximum security prison guy over on C block, there can no longer be a level 3 guy, because you can't have a maximum security and a close security guy around each other. It's just like you can't have a close security level 3 guy around a medium security level 2 guy. It can't go. The only 2 inmates, that level of inmates that can be around each other, is 1s and 2s. That's it. So anyway, now to the story. We had a guy in our block. He had moved into the block. He was new, younger white guy. I'd say about 24, 25. You know, you get the picking dudes' brains and shit when they first come. You know, what you down for? You want to make sure they're official. And I didn't do that, but the guys who did took him for whatever his word may have been. I don't know the situation. You know, he had got fucked with when he first got there. He put in some work. Basically, he was starting to be viewed as at least a stand-up guy. Now, if you're in a certain cell block on the first floor in Toledo prison, you can look out your cell window and you can see another block. It's like a circle. So like I told you, Toledo's a cross. Now imagine in this area right here, and then there's a fence here. So this is a block and this is a block. And then this area right here is a miniature yard. They call it a courtyard. And back in the day when you could smoke, that's where they used to take us to smoke. Now they use it for the level 4 guys to get their hour outside every day. Or you know, some time outside every day. I don't know exactly how it worked. I wasn't over there, but they would get time out in this yard. So this white kid, he had been here maybe a month or two, a little bit of time, to where people are getting to know him. He's starting to become comfortable getting into his bit. When all of a sudden one day, we're just standing in the dorm. We happen to been like a little bit, not quite in front of his cell, but around his cell. And he's in there minding his own business, doing his thing. We got us a group of guys, we're doing ours. When we hear doo doo doo, you just hear some like massive pounding. We end up locating it. One of the level 4 guys who had came out to the yard found that young white dude's cell. And he seen him. And he was beating on the wall and the window to make him come to the window to talk to him. We go in there. We're standing there. We're watching the whole thing. The kid's laying in his bed. And the windows are literally a foot to his left. The windows are like this wide and about 5 feet long. It's two of them side by side in your cell. And when you're laying in your bed, and depending on what side, but it's like right here. And the dude's beating on the window, and the kid's laying in the bed, and he won't look at him. He won't even acknowledge him. He's just laying there, and it's almost like he's seen a ghost. So we get to they eventually, the police run dude off. Hey man, you can't be knocking on dudes' windows and shit. But dude told him, bitch. He kept telling him, bitch, when I catch you, I'ma kill you. When I catch you, I'ma kill you. You're dead, bitch. You're like and you could see it in his face. He was dead ass serious. You hear people get their life threatened 100 times a day in prison over the simplest shit, over a ramen noodle that you owed somebody. I've seen dudes get stabbed over ramen noodles. So, but I regress. So, we're instantly, bro, what the fuck's that about? What's up with dude? What's going on with that? Oh, no. And he told us, he knew him from the streets and shit. He made this big ass story up about how he had broke into a house and there was a lady there and they didn't know and they robbed her at gunpoint and it was this dude's daughter who's beating on the window, who he done that to. Now the dude who was beating on the window, come to find out, was doing life and he had already been locked up 15, 20 years. And he's still in a maximum security prison. If you come down and you stay ticket free, keep your nose clean, don't get involved in the shit, and just stick to your bit and better yourself, you can be out in your maximum security when you start. You can be lowered within 2 or 3 years. For sure. You'll get maybe 5, depending on how much time you're doing. But you can get up out of there. If you've been locked up 20 years and you're still in maximum security prison, you're dangerous. Something's wrong with you. You're a loose cannon. And this guy was not playing no games. Every once in a while. So I told you to cross. Now if you come down this way, all the way down here, there will be a hallway this way that leads to the gym and visitation room. And then there will be a hallway this way that leads to the chow hall, reception and discharge, administrative areas, right? Well, we used to have to walk the hall to get to chow. Every once in a while, the level 4 guys would be down this way at rec. So we would have to stop so they could get let out a door and go to their blocks, because we can't cross paths with level 4 inmates. And it would happen in the chow hall too sometimes, but it's all right here in the same area. We'd have to wait in the chow hall till they get out, or they would have to wait down here until we get out. But one way or another, somebody was going to be waiting for the other block, for the other level inmates to get to where they're going. It didn't happen a lot, but it did happen. This went on for, I would say, 6 months, where literally every time this man came outside for his little bit of time, he would beat on that kid's window and threaten him. Every day. It became a joke. It became a meme. It became like, motherfucker, like we're riding this kid. Like, bro, this motherfucker ain't playing, bro. You better hope he don't get his shit dropped type shit. Like, he was a big ass motherfucker too. So, we got a female CO named Miss McDonald. And then we have another CO named Miss Clink. Both of them are sexy as hell. Both of them got fired. Both of them got fired for being on porn videos on inmate cell phones. These are the two that were going in inmate cells and basically making porn videos. So they're working. One's working the chow hall and one is working the main hallway. She's just basically the corridor CO for today. We're in the hallway. The level 4 guys are in the chow hall. They were supposed to close the chow hall door. So the chow hall, okay, if you're facing down here, if you're looking at it, the chow hall would be to your left. There's a door right here. You walk in and then the chow hall opens up. It's right here to your left. The hallway to rec is this way. We're supposed to be bending this corner to go to rec. They're supposed to be locked in the chow hall right here. They're about 5 feet away from us. They're all done eating, so their whole block, everybody that's in the chow hall, they're piled up at the door waiting to get out. They're not sitting at their tables. They're piled up at the door. They're anxious. They're ready to get back to the block. Well, Miss McDonald forgot to shut that Actually, she just stood in the doorway as if she was going to stop somebody from doing something if something were to pop off, instead of closing and locking the door. Well, it just so happens that that white kid whose window had been getting banged on for 6 months was like the second or third dude in the front of our line going to rec. And it also just so happened that that big-ass fucking vanilla gorilla that had been beating on his motherfucking window for the past 6 months was done eating chow and was one of those inmates standing at the door waiting to get back. And as soon as he seen that white kid, it was like a fucking lion jumping on a gazelle in Africa. I mean, literally. He knocked him out with the first 1 or 2 punches. And when the kid... Now, let me explain. He cracked the kid. He cracked him. Boom. Boom. That's exactly what happened. He hit him with a 2-piece. The first punch crushed the kid's nasal cavity. He had his face was sunk in, and when he fell back, he hit his head on the ground. So now his face is crushed in, and the back of his head is busted open, and he's got a 250-pound man ground and pounding him. They hit the man down buttons. When they rolled that, he couldn't breathe. He was gurgling. And when they rolled him over on his side, it almost looked like when you dump a coffee cup or a little mug of blood. They rolled him on his side and blood just rolled out. He was gurgling it and his face was crushed in, literally. Come to find out, that kid had raped that guy's daughter. He didn't rob her. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, man. Till the next time, y'all. This the Hoodie, man. I'm out.